يعلموا أن استهداف الأمريكيين واليهود بالقتل في طول الأرض وعرضها من أعظم الواجبات وأفضل القربات إلى الله تعالى.
The war on terror has scattered their ranks. Since 9/11, Al-Qaeda is finding new places to hide.
You could argue that Al-Qaeda has moved its whole leadership and organization into the virtual world.
New recruits to its cause.
I'm absolutely sure we have Al-Qaeda cells in the United States. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
And new ways to wage its global campaign of terror.
There is impending attack coming, and this attack is immense, huge, either as big or even bigger than September 11. And this attack is full of surprise.
December 2001. The best chance yet to destroy Al-Qaeda came in eastern Afghanistan. U.S. Special Forces trying to locate Osama bin Laden found hundreds, perhaps thousands of Al-Qaeda fighters in a cave complex called Tora Bora.
Clear your position now. Good. Go forward a little bit there.
U.S. commanders relied on Afghan troops on the ground to mop up retreating Al-Qaeda. But the high mountain passes allowed members of Al-Qaeda to slip away.
It was an operation on the fly. We thought we had bin Laden and the Al-Qaeda leadership cornered. They escaped.
There was a lot of firepower that was used, but not enough attention was paid to the escape routes in the back of Tora Bora that connected Tora Bora to Pakistan.
Only 23 Al-Qaeda fighters were taken prisoner. Although the exact number of Al-Qaeda fighters killed during the battle is unknown, many of bin Laden's commanders and foot soldiers managed to escape. The manhunt for Al-Qaeda's leaders would now have to be worldwide.
We're after them from, the North Pole to the South Pole. There's no place to go, no place to run. We're going to get you. The question is, how long is it going to take? And that is the potential problem. We are going to get them, but between now and then, they've got some life left in them.
Since 9/11, as many as 3,000 terrorist suspects have been rounded up from Europe to Asia. The most spectacular catch so far, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man who planned the attacks on Washington and New York, arrested in March 2003 in this house in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. Yet even his capture does not put Al-Qaeda out of business.
Fine, kill him. It's just, it's going to be somebody else that's going to step up. As long as you have these underlying causes for terrorism, you're going to find more and more of these people. And they may be more and more adept than the previous generations.
Al-Qaeda, which means the base in Arabic, has lost its base in Afghanistan, as well as its training camps. But today, Al-Qaeda has morphed into something that is at once less centralized and more spread out. It has spawned franchise operations from Spain to Singapore. Searching for clues to how Al-Qaeda might be reforming itself since the Battle of Tora Bora, we went from Afghanistan to points all over the world. We started in London, where we visited Saad al-Faghi, a leading Saudi opposition figure. In December 2002, al-Faghi set up a clandestine radio station that broadcasts into the Saudi kingdom. He also hosts a website where Saudis can talk to each other in a virtual lecture room, sometimes using voice modification technology to disguise their voices. It's a unique window on the thinking of Al-Qaeda sympathizers. Around the globe, intelligence agencies are listening for anything that might point to Al-Qaeda's next attack.
Generally speaking, if you look across the board from all methods and sources, human, technical, whatever the method of reporting, these threats add up, and you get a preponderance of the feeling that America will be attacked again. I think that's where we're at right now.
Much of the information that investigators are looking at indicates that the Afghan-Pakistan border region is where Al-Qaeda is regrouping. In that remote area, on the Afghan side, life has returned to a semblance of normality. But nobody knows how many members of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda have gone to ground in this rugged region. When you cross the Afghan border into Pakistan, you get a sense of how remote and cut off this place is. It's an area where tribes govern themselves in the same way they've done for centuries. An area where the Pakistani government has no control, an ideal hiding place for Al-Qaeda.
This is a tribal area where the feudal system exists. There are tribal fighters here, and the government can't exercise its authority. There are quite a few Pakistani troops here, but they don't have direct control.
In Washington, we met with an American photographer, Chris Turner, who has been visiting the tribes along the Afghan-Pakistan border for the past 2 decades. Turner used his tribal connections to visit the region twice since the 9/11 attacks. He claims that he met with Al-Qaeda members and even took pictures of them.
So who is this guy?
He's an Al-Qaeda operative who was quick to tell me that's what he was. In fact,
how did it come up?
As soon as I sat down, the very first thing that happened to me is he pointed an AK-47 at me and said, "You have to leave now."
Here is Chris Turner wearing the turban and long beard typical of the tribal areas, accompanied by the man who identified himself as a member of Al-Qaeda. Even more surprising, locals told Turner he was running a drug operation.
He was there to organize and supervise the heroin trade, which has become a major line of revenue for these people.
You're convinced he was Al-Qaeda?
Oh, he said he was. He made it very plain to me. One of the first things he said is, and I'll never forget the word, he pointed his finger and said, "Al-Qaeda number one, Al-Qaeda number one." And, and Al-Qaeda has unlike the image we have of them here, they're highly thought of in this tribal territory. Bin Laden was Robin Hood. He stood up against the mighty American machine and brought it to its knees. And to these people, he's a hero.
With Al-Qaeda's ranks scattered from Afghanistan, law enforcement is using intercepted communications worldwide to track the terrorists' moves and try to unravel Al-Qaeda's structure. The trail leads to Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi is a new hub for Al-Qaeda. It's deep within this mega city of crumbling apartment blocks and non-stop traffic that key Al-Qaeda members have gone underground. The perfect place to hide. Karachi is an important base for Islamist militant organizations that cooperate with Al-Qaeda. For Westerners, it is probably the most dangerous city in the world today. An important breakthrough came 1 year after the 9/11 attack. After a 3-hour gun battle, authorities secured a building and captured at least one big fish, Ramzi bin al-Shib, former roommate of lead hijacker Mohammed Atta, and a coordinator of the September 11 attacks.
Of course, they were able to get a lot of computers, laptops, diskettes, lots of information.
But the man believed to be the overall planner of the September 11th attacks narrowly avoided capture during the raid.